Hey Goddess Gang, welcome to my channel, Brown Girl Goddess. I'm Drea Love, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe so that you can get the post notifications each and every time that I upload a new video. So I'll be uploading new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday of each week. So let's get right on into it. Oh, but before I get into the video, I want to let you guys know if you happen to see me looking down from time to time, it's only because I want to make sure I cover everything and I leave out nothing. So let's get right into it. So today I'm going to be discussing the journey of self-love and how the relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you can have. Now, on this self-love journey, the reason why the relationship with yourself is the most important relationship to have, because not only does it set the foundation for you, but it also set the foundation for other relationships that you'll have, as far as, friendships, romantic relationships, relationships with your family. And along this journey, we have to learn to embrace who we truly are. And when I say embrace who we truly are, I mean not only our perfections, but we have to embrace our flaws. We have to embrace who we truly are on the inside, because let's just keep it real. When it comes to society tells us exactly how we should be, how we should dress, how we should look, how we should act, and a lot of times that take away from who people, truly are on the inside. So we have to embrace and in love on our authentic self, love on our imperfections, love on our perfections. And when you start to really tap into all of this juiciness along your self-love journey, what it does is it block out those who doesn't bring any value to your life. You have to also understand that along this journey, how you see and how you honor yourself is a reflection on how other people will treat you. Now, let's keep it real. Let's talk about it. In this chaotic world, we do have people, no matter how much you embrace love, no matter how much you radiate love, it just ain't going to happen for them. It's just not going to work on their level, because guess what? They're fighting their own battles and they're fighting their own demons, and everybody ain't happy for you along this journey, and that has nothing to do with you but everything to do with them. So you have to understand that along this journey of self-love, it's a never-ending journey. You can't say, okay, hey, you know what, I want to start my self-love journey, I want to tap into this love and start loving on myself and do the things that I need to do, and then 6 months down the line you say, okay, I'm healed, I'm done, I'm finished, it's over with, I love myself. No, that's not how it goes. When you're on this self-love journey, this journey is an everyday journey. Okay, you have to tap into loving yourself and embracing who you truly are each and every day. Okay, you have to understand too, along this journey, this is not a journey to where you look for other people to support you. Don't look for others to support you. You have to be your biggest supporter. You have to support you, because other people don't really know how you feel about yourself on the inside. Other people don't know that you lack self-love, or you don't have confidence, or you struggle with confidence, because we don't tell people this. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, we don't tell people, we don't discuss this about ourselves with other people, because we're afraid of being judged, how people are going to view us, how people are going to look at us. So you have to understand, when you're along this journey of self-love, you have to be your biggest supporter. You have to support who you are, and you have to not look for other people to validate you along this journey. No one should tell you, how you should be. When you're tapping into this self-love journey and you're embracing your authentic self and your trueness about yourself. Now, do keep in mind, along this journey, honey, you're going to have to set boundaries. Yes. And the reason why I say you're going to have to set boundaries, because everybody is not going to be happy for you. You're going to have two type of people on this journey. You're going to have people who see your self-love radiate. They see your confidence level raised, and people are going to tell you, you know what, I see you glowing. Whatever you do, keep doing what you do. And I can say that because that's what I experienced when I started my self-love journey. And I started really tapping into myself and really started, embracing who I was, and that confidence level started to rise. I had people tell me, you know what, I don't know what you're doing, but you must be loving yourself. You must be on your self-love journey, honey, because I see the confidence. I see you glowing. And you're going to have people who genuinely happy, for you. But then on the flip side, you're going to have people who are not so happy. And the people who are not so happy, you really need to dismiss them, because those particular individuals, the reason why they're not happy, because they see you starting to love on yourself. They see that you're starting to value who you truly are. And let's just keep it real. When you don't love yourself, and I say that from experience, when you don't love yourself, you allow people to do and say things that they shouldn't say to you. You allow people to do and say things that a person who does love themselves would not even tolerate, nor would they allow. And see, on this self-love journey, some people are going to mistake your confidence for cockiness. And there's a difference between confidence and cockiness. But I'm going to say this: don't you dare for once dim your light to make somebody else comfortable. Don't dim your light. Don't dim your confidence to make somebody else comfortable. That has nothing to do with you. You keep going along on your journey. You keep being the beautiful person, the beautiful goddess that you are, and you keep elevating and you keep rising. And that's why on this journey, you have to understand that you are worthy just the way you are. Your self-worth is everything, and we don't need anybody else to validate us. So know that you are worthy just the way you are, despite of what anybody may say or anybody may think of you. Do you and be you. And on this self-love journey, you have to also keep in mind that on this journey, it's sacred. This is something that has to be sacred to you. Not only is it sacred, you have to nurture, and you have to also protect. And you definitely have to protect, because you're going to have people, like I said, who do not value what you're doing, because they're so used to you being depleted. They're so used to running over you. They're so used to saying whatever come out their mouth. And trust me, I know, because along my self-love journey, before I started my self-love journey, for a long time, I did not love myself. And to be honest with you, I probably didn't love myself as far as I can remember. Nobody knew this about me. Nobody, because I didn't discuss it with anybody, because I was afraid of what, people would say or what people would think of me. So I did not discuss that with anybody, but I allowed people to cross boundaries that now I would not allow them to cross. I tried to look for love on the outside instead of trying to learn to love myself on the inside. I would do things to try to overcompensate and hope that people will return the love. And each time, I just got screwed. I got screwed each and every time, because why? True love comes from within. So honor and value yourself. Honor and value the relationship with you. And don't let anybody tell you anything different. Don't allow anybody to try to bring you down or to try to deplete you from loving on your true self. Honey, continue with that confidence. Continue with that self-love, and pour love into yourself on a daily basis. So what are some of the things that we can do to repair the relationship, with ourselves along this self-love journey? Well, one of the things that we can do, which is shadow work. And if you guys don't really know, the depths of shadow work, I can always make another video about shadow work, but I'm just going to give you a little briefing. When I started my self-love journey, because a long time I did not love myself. At all. And one day I just got sick and tired, and I was just like, you know what? And this is how I had to ask myself, I cannot continue to keep living like this. I cannot continue to keep not loving who I am. I see other people and they seem like they're embracing themselves and they're loving themselves. And why is it that I don't, and I was like, enough is enough. So I started my spiritual journey, and I started off with self-love. And with this self-love, I started doing shadow work. And shadow work is basically trying to unmask, why we do or we react to certain things the way we do. So the first question, first of all, I want you all to make sure you get a journal, because journaling is so important on this journey. Make sure you get a journal. And within this journal, I want you to really take out time for yourself to answer these 3 questions. I want you to really dig deep. Take out time, set aside time, and really do this. So the first question is, why do I lack self-love? And really sit with that thought. And this is a part of shadow work. Write in your journal, why do I lack self-love? And I want you to try to go back as far as you can remember to when you stopped loving yourself. It could have been when you were a child. It could have been, when you were a teen or as an adult. Why do I lack self-love? And I want you to go back as far as you can remember and start to journal that incident or those different incidents that happened to cause you to not love yourself. And journal that, okay? Once you journal, I want you to read it back to yourself aloud. Read it out loud to yourself, okay? And then pretend like that person who made you feel less than, or that person who made you feel that you didn't truly love yourself, I want you to tell that individual that hurt you, pretend as if they were in front of you, and tell them everything you wish you would have told them when you were a child, or when you were a teen, or when you were adult. You have to tap into this, okay? Now, when doing this, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna bring up some emotions. You may get mad, you may get angry, you may cry, you may scream, you may curse. Trust me, I know, because I went through it. Okay? And then once you do that, and once you tell that person as if they were in front of you how that made you feel, okay? I want you to release that shit. And when I say release it, take that piece of paper, burn it, tear it up, flush it, and then I want you to start to work on forgiveness. We have to forgive those that hurt us, okay? Work on forgiveness. Now, forgiveness takes time. It's not going to be overnight. And it's not to forgive those individuals for them, but it's to forgive for yourself, because we have to release that stagnant energy. You have to understand that that hurt and that lack of self-love, that lays dormant from years of pain. So we have to learn how to release that, and we have to learn the process of forgiveness for ourselves, so that we can be able to move forward and start the healing process. So once you do that, then I want you to turn around on that paper in your journal, and I want you to start writing down things that can help you pour into yourself. What can help you on your self-love journey? What can you do to help you love you? And I can give you a brief experience. For me, I had to figure out, why didn't I love myself? And I realized for years, I truly did not love who I was. And I had to figure out, where did this emotion and this feeling stem from? And I found out after doing shadow work that it stemmed from my childhood. See, let me just give you a little insight. As a child, I was well taken care of. My parents provided for me. I had a roof over my head. I never went without. They were excellent providers. But they didn't really embrace me, with love. I never heard "I love you." I never received a hug. I never heard, "Oh, you know what? Good job. I'm so proud of you." And a lot of times that can actually follow you from childhood until your adulthood, to make you feel a certain type of way about yourself. I never really felt that love. Of course, I was fully provided for, but I never really felt that love from my parents. And so I kind of pretty much grew up not loving who I truly was. Okay? But then what I did was, once I realized where the problem stemmed from, I had to start doing things to implement self-love. I had to pour that love into myself, to heal myself. And it takes time, because it is a journey. Now, the second question is, do you treat yourself the way you would want others to treat you? A lot of times we always say, "Oh, well, we want people to treat us like this, and we want people to treat us like that." But how do you treat yourself? Because you got to understand that we are all energy, and we all pick up on each other's energy. And if you don't treat yourself to the highest level, how do you expect anybody else to treat you as such? And so with this question, I want you to really sit down and think about it. Do you treat yourself the way you would want other people to treat you? And it's pretty a basic yes or no question. Yes or no answer, because only you really know the true answer, the true meaning, if you do treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you. And figure out, where does that stem from? Why don't you treat, why don't you treat yourself the way, you would want other people to treat you? What does that stem from? And again, I had to go back to my childhood, as why I don't treat myself the way I would want other people to treat me, because I didn't have that confidence. I always put other people on a higher pedestal than myself. And the reason being was because I was always compared to other kids when I was younger. I was always told, "Oh, you should be like this person," or "You should be like this person." And anytime I did something good, I was never rewarded for the good. But anytime I did something bad, trust me, it was always recognized. It was always recognized when I did wrong, but never recognized when I did good. So really sit with yourself and ask yourself, do you treat yourself the way the way you would want other people to treat you? And if you don't, you need to try to work on ways to implementing treating yourself the way you want to be treated. Because once you start treating yourself the way you want to be treated, then you're going to start to see other people are going to follow suit, because your energy is going to radiate off of you. And it's going to reflect, and people are going to see how you value yourself, so they're going to value you as well. And then the last final question is, identify any unhealthy relationships that may keep repeating. Identify those unhealthy relationships. A lot of times, we have unhealthy relationships and we see that it's a repeated cycle with that unhealthy relationship. This is also too a part of shadow work. I want you to sit down and figure out where those unhealthy relationships stem from. Was it from childhood? Did you see your parents have an unhealthy relationship, or were you surrounded in an environment to where you've seen unhealthy relationships with other people? And we have to understand that sometimes from childhood, things tend to follow us until our adulthood. It plays a big part in our life. And once you pinpoint those incidents, I want you to do the same thing. Write it down. And for those that may have hurt you or whatsoever, I want you to pretend as if they were in front of you and tell them exactly how you would have felt, or exactly what you would have said to them at that moment, and then release it and work on forgiveness, and then work on ways to actually build healthy relationships. So if you're in relationships with people right now, whether it's friendships or a romantic relationship, and if it's pretty much toxic right now, work on a way to where you can build that relationship up, how you can turn it into a healthy relationship. But also keep in mind, it takes two, because you can't do this by yourself. Okay, so really sit with those 3 questions and really figure out and pinpoint why you lack self-love, why you don't treat yourself the way you would want other people to treat you, and why are you on the same cycle of unhealthy relationships. So let's also talk about making time for ourselves and self-care. Now, along this self-love journey, it is so important to make time for yourself and tap into that self-care energy, because all of that is a part of self-love. And it's so important because you have to understand, in today's society, we're constantly going, we're working, we're going to school, we're taking care of the kids, we're taking care of our spouse, we're making sure the house is up to par, and sometimes we get away from really taking out time for ourselves and really going and giving ourselves that self-care that we all deserve. I mean, and I'll just give you an example. You take a cell phone. When you go to bed at night, what do? You charge your phone, correct? You charge your phone on a charger, and when you wake up in the morning, it's at 100%. Throughout that day, you're going to be making phone calls. You're going to be texting, maybe social media, emails. You're on different websites. And eventually, throughout that day, the battery gets low on that phone, right? And if you don't charge that phone up, what happens? The phone dies. And the phone is depleted until you recharge your phone. That's the same thing with us. If we do not recharge ourselves, if we do not take care of ourselves, and if we do not tap into that self-care, it's just like a phone. We're going to be depleted. We're not going to have anything left for ourselves. So what are some of the things that we can do to tap into that self-care energy? Okay, one thing I love to do, take a self-love bath. And let me just before I get into that, let me just say this. On this self-love journey, you can tap into loving yourself. You can tap into yourself each and every day, whether it takes 15 minutes a day or an hour a day, or at least tap into that love energy and that self-care energy every week for yourself. Now, one good thing I would say, what I love to do is a self-love bath. And for those who really not sure about a self-love bath, I can definitely make another video for that and show you how that goes. But when I say it's so relaxing when you do a self-love bath. You can, have a bubble bath, with your rose petals. You can pour your Epsom salts, some essential oils. You can use crystals, candles, incense. You can also use really soft music in this time, or affirmations. And if you want to have a little glass of wine in the process, hey, go ahead and do so. But it's actually taking out time to just unwind and relax. Okay, and that's a part of self-care. Just taking time, like clear out everything. Tell people, if it's the kids, if it's your man or your spouse or whoever, hey, right now this time is dedicated for me, and I need this time for myself. And when I tell you, that is the most peaceful bath you will have, because it's so fulfilling. Okay, so actually, yeah, take out time to pour into yourself. Another thing, pamper yourself. Go get a mani and pedi. Go get a body massage, get wax, do different things to pamper you, to pour that love into yourself, to fill your cup up. In the morning when you wake up, another good thing to pour into yourself. In the morning when you wake up, we're so used to just being on autopilot. We get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, we wash our face, we put on our makeup, and we don't really recognize and stop and really look at ourselves and tell ourselves, hey, you know what? I love you today. Start telling yourself that each and every day. Start telling yourself how much you love you. Look into the mirror each morning and tell yourself how much you love you. Okay? And then start to pinpoint things about yourself that you love. And the exercise that I did daily was I would look myself into the mirror. I would look into the mirror, tell myself how much I love me, and I still do it to this day. And I'll start with something physical. Not only do I love me as the person that I am, but I love my hair today. I'm thankful for my hair. I'm thankful that I have an abundance of hair, that my hair is thick and it flows. You have to thank yourself for these things and show gratitude for it and embrace and love on that part of your body. You understand what I'm saying? And then figure out what you like about yourself internally. Mine was, hey, I love the fact that I'm a loyal person. I love the fact that I'm honest. I love the fact that I'm non-judgmental. And each day pick out something on yourself, on your body, externally and internally, that you love about yourself. And even if you don't love it about yourself, still embrace it. Because eventually you're going to start to love that about yourself, that particular thing. Like for me, look, I have stretch marks and I hated my stretch marks, okay? And I mean, when I tell you guys I hated my stretch marks, but when I started this self-love journey, I started to embrace it. Because I had to look at that as, honey, that's you. That's a part of you. I brought life into this world. And that was a result of it. That reminds me that I brought 2 lives into this world. And I embrace it now. Now nobody can tell me nothing about my stretch marks, honey. You can't tell me anything about it because I love on myself. And I love who I truly am. And I want you guys to get to that point as well. Tell yourself affirmations, daily affirmations about loving yourself. And not just telling yourself about these affirmations, but actually implementing them into your life. Start doing these things that you're telling yourself, because you can wake up every day and say 1,000,001 affirmations, but if you don't believe it and start to work on yourself to bring it into your reality, it's pointless. When you go to bed at night, put earbuds in your ear and listen to the self-love affirmations while you're going to sleep. You got to remember, it takes anywhere between 30 to 45 days to reprogram the mind, to reprogram the subconscious mind, so that you can start thinking in that way of loving yourself. So, listen to self-love affirmations when you're going to bed at night. Other things that you can implement self-love along this journey is take out time to date yourself. Learn who you truly are. You'll be surprised. There are a lot of people who do not like being by themselves. Love who you truly are. You may be surprised of the things that you learn about yourself. It doesn't matter what age you are. Start taking yourself out on a date. Take yourself to lunch. Take yourself to dinner. Spend time with yourself. Go to the beach by yourself. Start to embrace who you really are. Try new different things, new different hobbies. You'll be surprised of what you like and the things that you truly start to learn about yourself. And you're going to start to see that you're going to continue to grow on this journey. So you have to understand, honey, self-love is a never-ending journey. It's continuous each and every day. And we have to also remember that the most important person to care for is you. Because remember, if you can't care for yourself, and if you can't love on yourself, how are you going to show others love? How can you show other people love if you can't love on yourself? How can you be good for others if you're not good for you? So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys tap into that self-love journey and be the goddess that I know you guys can be. And if this video resonates with you, drop a green heart down below. Comment, tell me some of the things that you do along your self-love journey to elevate yourself. Tell me some of the things that you do to embrace you. And I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys on my next one.